So today we're going to be doing some welding on Apollo. Please do not think this is a welding tutorial. I've now finished the welding in reality, and I'm remaking the beginning of the video because I don't want anyone to continue watching if you think you're going to learn anything apart from a what not to do guide. However, if you want to see me make an absolute hash of this, stay tuned. Well, good morning YouTube, another day, another episode. So I'm currently working on two videos now, not one video. The first of the two videos was about putting, not a log on the fire, it's just getting cold. The first of the two videos was about putting a big mural on the side of the van. Wonderful. When I started filming that episode, I knew there was a few little bits of surface rust that we needed to address. So we got the grinder, we started addressing it. Obviously it's a transit, it wasn't surface rust. I nearly lost my grinder in the sill. So now I'm thinking I need some welding doing, so I start ringing around a few welding guys. Not really getting much luck. And I thought, well, I've got a gas welder, just a hobby gas MIG. Never been able to get it running. Don't know how to weld. You're probably thinking I've seen you welding in previous videos, but you haven't. You've seen me sticking two bits of metal together with a stick welder. There's a massive difference. So, thought I need to get this gas MIG working, give it a bash. I've got a transit, I need to know how to weld properly, or at least in a fashion. So I get my mate round, he has a look, shows me what bits I need, we get that fixed. Get the bits, and I believe we're now ready to be up and running. So I just want to do a couple of test shots, see if it's working as it should. Yeah, and then we'll go from there. So this is the little gas MIG, just a SIP MIG mate, very cheap, paid 50 quid off Facebook. Should have known better really, because it was on Facebook for 50 quid. Messaged the guy, he said, no, somebody's coming for it, I'll let you know if they don't come. Then he sent me another message saying you can come and get it if you want. So obviously the guy that got there before me knew more about welding than I did, saw this and thought, that's an absolute heap of crap, I'm not buying it. And then I got there and thought, oh yeah, here's your 50 quid. So anyway, we put a new roll of wire on because that was all rusted up and stopping it rolling through there. We had to sort this tensioning wheel out. Luckily you're actually sat on a gasless MIG, which belonged to my dad, and it's the same one but gasless. So we managed to salvage some bits off that to get these rollers running properly. I've been and bought a gas bottle, which I'm going to put on now. It did come with a gas bottle, but obviously it was empty. So once this gas bottle's on, we can we had to buy some tips because they were knackered, and take the shroud off the gasless MIG and put it onto this MIG, so that's now all working. So I'll get this onto here. We should be able to. Shit. Fuck! Apparently my regulator's knackered as well. I've ordered a new regulator from Amazon. That's on its way, but while it's coming, we're just going to make sure that this actually arcs up and works, and then at least when the regulator comes we'll have gas. Well, that's at least one thing. With the new tips on, as you can see, we was trying that quite some time the other day, just getting blobs here and there, and it wasn't feeding really well because the tip was clogged up and the wire was all useless. So that's working much better than it was. So I'll show you what we're on with. So basically, obviously I've started grinding away and found stuff like this. So we're left with a horrible, gaping, messy hole that we need to just cut out and get welded up. So that's all we've done there, is just took, you know, a grinding wheel, thinking I'm just taking off surface rust, and left myself with that. The next step then is to take a cutting disc and cut a nice square hole. Get this corner piece out. There we go. You can see that. So that's the worst. This is the worst one. We've cut a nice square hole there now, so I need to put that grinding disc back on and get all this paint from around it, and then we're going to measure that and weld the plate in when the regulator arrives. So I've got a nice straight piece, or straight hole should I say. Get this grinded off, make a piece to go in. Okay, moment of truth. Regulator's here, connected on, pieces magneted in place. Let's see if we can do something that resembles a weld. Bearing in mind, I've never ever welded before. Well, not really. Not with a MIG welder. So, yeah, we'll see. Well, that did not go to plan. What have I done wrong? Give it another blast. I think I'm gonna end up just blowing a gazillion holes in the van. But all the welders out there are absolutely wetting their pants laughing with what I'm actually doing. But that's solid. That's like, I don't understand. I don't know. So obviously this is a learning curve for me, and I ain't got a clue what I'm doing. But the bottom seems to have welded up, albeit extremely ugly. It's not blown holes everywhere, so I'm assuming the top piece I've not took enough of the crap out and I'm just blowing holes in rust. Well, I did give it a good smack with a hammer and you know, grinded it all down, and it seemed pretty solid, but I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert, but as you can see underneath, obviously the welding is absolutely horrific, but it sort of worked. This is not going to plan. I've learned a few things while I've been welding this van. Number one, I am bad at welding. Like, really bad. Number two, don't cut the rust out and then make a piece to fit. Cut the rust out, then make a piece bigger, then recut it out so the piece just slots in. That's a lot easier. Also, I learned that I'm really bad at welding. However, something that I learned from the last job is that when you're using this stuff, don't dip your paintbrush back in the bottle, hence why we're in this situation in the first place. So I'm going to tip it into the little packaging that it came into, how much I want to use, and if I want to use some more, I'll tip some more in, and I won't ruin the rest of the bottle. So I'm going to go around the bottom of the van now and get it all painted pasted up with this stuff to kill anything that's left over, then get the body filler out. That's it, welding finished. Will I do welding again? Probably. I definitely need the practice. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed absolutely just laughing at my hysterical and horrific welding. But it's done, the welding's done. There's little pinholes left in it. I'm just making a mess. But it's a lot better than it was when I started, and I'm a little bit more knowledgeable about welding. Tiny little wincy bit. Gonna get on with the body filler and everything now and get it ready for the next step, which you will find out if you stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, like, share, all that jazz. See you in the next one.